Talk to me about neuromechanical matching.
How you would explain neuromechanical matching is that the brain, and I'm not an expert on this, but the brain kind of operates from an efficiency standpoint, right? So at any given time, to be efficient, your brain would then recruit the muscle that had the best potential to produce the most force. And we can look at what muscles have the most potential to produce force by their internal moment arms, right? So that's just math on the inside of the body that you can't see, but we can measure with the study. So in the instance that one muscle had a greater leverage at a certain joint angle, the brain would tell that muscle to do the job. Um, in the instance that another muscle had better leverage or the leverage changes as the joint angle changes, the brain then tells the other muscle to start working harder, because why would you ask a weaker muscle to do a job that a stronger muscle could do? And I'm not saying weaker and stronger in the sense that one is bigger or smaller. It's weaker or stronger in the sense that at that certain position, it is capable of producing more force based on the architecture of the muscle and the position and the biomechanics. So neuromechanical matching basically just tells us that you can look to internal moment arm data in studies to then predict activation. And if you can predict activation, then you can theoretically predict the outcome, right? So like if a muscle is more active, then it can produce more force. If it can produce more force, it is then experiencing more tension. And then if it experiences more mechanical tension, it is then going to grow more. So just basically tell us that if you look to studies to see internal moment arms, look at graphs, you can go, okay, well, I know that like at 20 degrees of elbow flexion, the bicep is going to be activated preferentially because it has the best, actually the best length tension relationship, which is a different topic. But basically, you can just look to see where muscles are going to be stronger and produce more force, and then experience more growth. So it's a very it's a tricky name and it sounds complex, but it's just like, where are my muscles the strongest? Okay, it's strongest here. I'm going to train it here. So, my glutes are strongest at lockout. Well, maybe I should do a hip thrust that loads lockout. Like, it's very simple in practice. It just sounds quite difficult.
And does this mainly, as far as the application of this concept and whether you agree with it or not, I imagine it causes disagreements in exercise selection based on how much you emphasize the stretch, or are there more implications there? It's mostly just a counter argument to this perpetual stretching of everything.
Yes, because then you could look at something like the lats, for example, and this is where someone like Paul and Coach Cass would butt heads, is the dumbbell pullover, right? So everyone has seen this dumbass argument that's been going on forever. I hate it because it's a shit exercise anyway. It's got nothing to do with the length, nothing to do with the stretch. It's just, this is not a good position to be in when you can hold a 70-kilo dumbbell. That's enough of an argument to be said about the pullover. But basically, like, according to neuromechanical matching, the lats would not have leverage to produce force up here. So like that would make the dumbbell pullover not a good exercise. But if you believe that, every muscle can experience a stretch stimulus, then you would say a dumbbell pullover is a really good exercise because this is a big stretch for the lats. And you would say it was a big stretch for the lats because you get a sensation in your sore. That could just mean, again, the mechanism for being sore could be just that the nerve is put at a longer length and actually stretched. So you might be stretching nerves through here that are like in your lat, around your lat, and you get a lat sensation, what you think is a lat sensation, but could just be a nerve sensation, and that's got nothing to do with the actual muscle. So that would be the rebuttal for like, I feel my lats in a pullover. It's like, yeah, sure, you're stretching a nerve. The same way that you can do a tabletop test with a physio and get a sensation behind your knee and the calf from a nerve. It's not your calf, it's a nerve, but it feels like your calf. So it just depends what you believe in.
If you want to learn more about the general physical preparation training philosophy, we put together an extremely practical course covering all the different aspects of physical preparation, as well as a unit on programming, so you know how to tie it all together and produce the same world-class results that we get with our athletes. We've got pre-recorded lectures, a community page where you can ask questions and interact with the other GPP coaches, as well as monthly calls where you can ask questions live or just catch up and hang out with us. Check out the link in the show notes for more info.